Hello, welcome in or welcome back. Thank you again for being here. For those that continue to follow me, and for anyone new joining, I appreciate you guys. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I wanted to, this one kind of is about boundaries. So, if you've been following along with my story, my journey as I go through my entire physical journey from 2020 to 2025, and what has happened since then. And the thing is, this is all about you transforming from your previous life into a entirely new life. So who you were in the past is no longer who you will be on the other side of your ascension. And the universe is going to continuously give you little tests to say, have you learned your lesson yet? Have you learned your lesson? Because the things of what we accepted um, from our past life, we can't accept in our new life, in that second life. And as I always say, you're living two lives within one lifetime. So, give you a little backstory on the chocolate bar. When, if you've been following my story, I had in 2020, I had gone to live with a family member, which I came to understand was a karmic partner that I needed to remove myself from entirely. This person had treated me very, very badly. It was abusive in a way, emotionally, mentally. And because they were a family member and I loved them deeply, I could not bring myself initially to do so. But once I kind of opened my eyes to see the truth about them, it was kind of like, okay, I get it now. I ended up leaving their house and going into a shelter. And that's where my um, homelessness started because it was more about me preserving my, not only my dignity and my self-worth, but getting away from the abuse. And I had nowhere else to go. I had no money. I had nothing. Um, so I had to go to a shelter. When I got there, I was put into a room, really nice shelter, actually. When I got there, I was put into a room with two other women. So there's two bunk beds. And I had never been in a situation like this. Like you're talking 2, 3 years ago, I had just left a Wall Street job where I was making six figures. None of that money, I didn't have any of it. It was gone and totally broke. And I had to go in social services, getting food stamps and Medicaid and also assistance, cash assistance. So the one woman who slept in the other bunk, I was on the top bunk of with this other lady underneath me, and then this other woman was on the bottom bunk on the other side of the room, and her top bunk was empty. So, of course, I was scared, afraid, but I was also relieved to be out of that situation. I was like, nothing could be better at this point. I mean, worse at this point than being where I was with this family member because that's how bad it was. Um, so I don't know if this is true. It's something you say, you see it in the movies, you see it on TV shows or whatever. Whereas, like in the jail, someone new who's never been in there before kind of needs protection from like other gangs or groups or something like that. So what I group will do is like, well, you will protect you if you do this, that, and that for us. Like, we're going to protect you from the other gangs or whatever, but you need to make sure, you do this or whatever it is. I don't know if I'm making that up, but it's kind of how I think it is. Okay. So it's almost that way, kind of, I'm going to say in a shelter where there's going to be groups of women, probably men, that have to group together to, okay, so there's usually one group that kind of, in this situation, there was this woman and the woman that slept underneath me. Um, and I think there was two other women that all seemed to kind of group into this clique. And it was kind of like, we know that you don't belong in here. So if you want our protection, like, we're going to reel you in. So anyway, this woman one day had given me a chocolate bar, and it was only like maybe 1 or 2 days in, and I was like, oh wow, that's really nice of you. Like, I look at everything through, well, back then, through rose-colored glasses, and I like, that's really nice of you. Like, thank you. Not realizing that that was part of the reeling. Like, okay, I give you this, but you're going to now be um, kind of under me, and what I say goes type of thing. And it took me about a week to kind of realize that. So I ended up buying another candy chocolate bar, and I gave it back, and I gave her the same one back. So it was kind of like, this is an even deal. Like, I don't want what you're trying to offer me. You know, I don't need your protection. I have divine protection. And it was more like saying that there's those within the shelter that just kind of keep to themselves and don't play those games. And I kind of knew that I needed to do that. Also, um, allowing everyone to see that I was a spiritual person and doing my journaling every morning. People would observe that and like, what are you doing? And that I was not aggressive or anything like that. So there was a respect that kind of came to me instead of me having to fight my way through something. People will test you to see, like, how far can we push her? But it was so funny how people changed by the end, and there was this respect for me, and even people defending me and things like that. Anyway, as I said, spirit is going to make sure when you get to the end of your ascension journey that you've learned those lessons, whether it be about boundaries or whatever else that you need to be tested on. So just recently, kind of coming across new people, and I'm like, okay, this person's like really, really nice. And like, everyone has been kind of taken out of my life at this point from my previous life. So now I'm slowly introducing people back into my new life. And Spirit's like, have you learned a lesson yet? So a couple people who I'm saying, oh, they're really, really nice. But now they're starting to test my boundaries. And the thing is, it probably is not a big deal. You say, oh, that's probably not a big deal. But the thing is, when you keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it, and like, and then I'm saying, okay, something's going on here with Spirit's trying to say, are you allowing people to walk over your boundaries again? They may be nice people, they may have good intentions, they may not even know that they're doing what they're doing, but what are you going to do about it? So That's why I say it kind of clicks into my mind again. Up, there goes that chocolate bar effect again. I'm allowing people to step over my boundaries that I have put up significantly. Can you say that? Significantly since going through this journey. And it's the universe bringing in those little tests to say, oh, here comes some nice people. You may think they're great, you may think they're nice. They may not even know what they're doing, but how far are you going to allow them to push your boundaries? So that's kind of what this little spiel is about not so much even about boundaries. That's what it is for me at this point. But the lessons that you've learned on your journey are going to come back up for you to either keep, the lessons are going to keep coming until you get it, or if you get it, then you can move on. You know what I'm saying? It's just like we go to school and we learn something in school and we have these quizzes, right? It's these little tests that come. And then at the end of the quarter, semester, or whatever, we have the exam, right? Have you learned the lesson? Have you learned what you have you learned the lesson? Have you learned what you were taught? Um, so it's going to be different for everyone. It may be boundaries. It probably is something along boundaries for you too. Maybe one of the things that you need to deal with because in the past, I always allowed everyone to walk over my boundaries, being a people pleaser, not having my own self-worth, um, allowing people to push my buttons, but not speaking up when they pushed them too hard, you know. All right, I'm going to end it there. Thank you again for being here. I appreciate you guys. Continue to um, follow me and please like, share, and subscribe. If you would like to spend time with me in any way, talk about your own journey, have a reading, there is a link below to book time with me. And I'll see you in the next one.